Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in American coin collecting history, the unbelievable 1969 Jefferson 5-cent coin that many collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $93 million because of its rare errors, minting mistakes, strange features, historical importance, and hidden possibilities that continue to shock the coin collecting world even today. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, opening a forgotten family collection, or checking a dusty nickel sitting in your pocket, only to discover that the tiny 5-cent piece could actually be a treasure beyond imagination. That is exactly why collectors across the world are obsessed with searching for rare Jefferson Nickels, especially unusual pieces from the late 1960s when the United States Mint faced enormous production pressure, equipment wear, and experimental minting conditions that created some of the rarest error coins ever known. The 1969 Jefferson Nickel was produced at the Denver Mint during a period when coin demand in America was exploding, and millions upon millions of coins were being struck at high speed every single day. Under these stressful conditions, mistakes became inevitable, but every now and then a mistake was so extraordinary that it created a coin unlike any other. Experts believe that some rare 1969 nickels may contain dramatic double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, wrong planchet errors, broad strikes, rotated dies, repunched mint marks, missing clad layers, or even experimental metal compositions that were never supposed to leave the mint at all. These strange possibilities are exactly what can transform an ordinary 5-cent coin into a legendary collectible worth unimaginable amounts of money. One of the biggest reasons collectors are fascinated by the 1969 nickel is the possibility of double die errors. A double die occurs when the design on the die becomes misaligned during production, causing certain parts of the coin to appear doubled. On rare nickels, this doubling may appear on the date, the word liberty, the phrase "In God we trust," or even the portrait of Thomas Jefferson himself. Some double dies are small and difficult to spot, while others are so dramatic they can be seen with the naked eye. When a major double die combines with excellent coin condition and historical rarity, the value can rise to shocking levels. Some collectors spend years searching through bank rolls and estate collections hoping to find one hidden example. The mystery only increases when rumors circulate that a few 1969 nickels escaped the mint with extraordinary doubling never officially documented in mainstream catalogs, making them potential one-of-a-kind discoveries. Another reason the 1969 nickel attracts so much attention is the possibility of being struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc used to create a coin, and sometimes during chaotic mint operations, the wrong blank accidentally enters the presses. Imagine a Jefferson nickel struck on a penny planchet, a dime planchet, or even an experimental metal intended for another denomination. Such mistakes are incredibly rare because quality control usually catches them before they leave the mint, but when one escapes into circulation it becomes a sensational discovery. A wrong planchet 1969 nickel with clear details and strong strike quality could command massive interest from elite collectors and auction houses around the world. Some experts believe that mysterious metal testing during the late 1960s may have produced a few unusual nickel compositions, and if one of those specimens were discovered today in pristine condition, the value could skyrocket into the millions. Coin collectors are also fascinated by die cracks and cut errors found on Jefferson Nickels from this era. Minting dies endure enormous pressure every time they strike a coin, and over time those dies begin to crack or break apart. When the cracks transfer onto the coin surface, strange raised lines and blobs appear, creating unique patterns that make every error different. Some die cracks resemble lightning bolts across Jefferson's face, while others create giant raised areas near the rim called cuts. A dramatic cut error on a 1969 nickel would instantly catch the attention of collectors because such defects reveal the intense stress placed on minting equipment during that time period. The more dramatic and visually unusual the error appears, the more collectors become willing to pay extraordinary prices for ownership. Another thrilling possibility involves off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank fails to sit correctly inside the press before being struck. Instead of receiving a perfectly centered design, part of the image ends up missing while the remaining design shifts dramatically toward one side. Off-center errors are among the most visually exciting mint mistakes because they are immediately noticeable even to non-collectors. A 1969 D nickel with a severe off-center strike while still showing the complete date and mint mark could become a highly valuable rarity. If combined with another error such as doubling or wrong metal composition, the coin's uniqueness would become even greater. Some collectors dream about finding a multi-error 1969 D nickel with several mint mistakes appearing together on the same coin, because such combinations are exceptionally rare and often considered museum-level collectibles. Then there are clipped planchet errors, another fascinating possibility for the famous 1969 D nickel. A clipped planchet occurs when the metal blank is improperly punched from the metal strip, leaving part of the coin missing before it is even struck. The result is a curved or straight missing section along the edge of the coin. Genuine clipped planchet errors show special characteristics like metal flow distortion near the missing area, proving the mistake happened during the minting process rather than after circulation damage. Collectors love these errors because they provide direct evidence of manufacturing mistakes at the United States Mint. A dramatic clip on a high-grade 1969 D Jefferson nickel would already make it desirable, but if the coin also displayed unusual toning, doubling, or pristine preservation, its value could climb dramatically. Speaking of preservation, condition plays an enormous role in determining coin value. Most 1969 D nickels entered circulation and became worn through years of everyday use, but a few rare examples survived in near-perfect condition. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels by professional grading companies are extremely difficult to find because even tiny scratches, weak strikes, or contact marks reduce the grade. Collectors competing for top population examples often pay astonishing amounts of money for coins with flawless surfaces, sharp details, and brilliant luster. If an already rare error coin exists in near-perfect condition, the value multiplies rapidly because the combination becomes almost impossible to duplicate. This is one reason why rumors about an ultra-high-grade 1969 D error nickel continue to excite the coin collecting community. Some believe there may be undiscovered examples sitting untouched inside old collections, forgotten safety deposit boxes, or inherited family estates waiting to shock the world one day. The historical timing of the 1969 D nickel also adds to its mystique. The late 1960s were a transformative period in American coinage. Silver had recently been removed from circulating dimes and quarters, public coin shortages caused panic among collectors, and the mint was under pressure to produce coins at record speed. During periods of rushed production, mistakes naturally became more common. Collectors know that some of the greatest error coins in American history emerged during times of transition and stress at the mint, making the 1969 D nickel a perfect candidate for hidden rarities. Another intriguing factor is the possibility of repunched mint marks. Before modern minting technology, mint marks were punched into dies by hand, meaning they could accidentally be punched multiple times in slightly different positions. On a 1969 D nickel, a repunched D mint mark could appear doubled, tilted, or shadowed under magnification. Although subtle compared to giant off-center strikes, repunched mint marks are highly respected by serious collectors because they reveal the human side of mint production. Rare and dramatic examples can command huge premiums, especially when combined with strong strike quality and limited surviving numbers. Some collectors also believe that experimental strikes or proof-like examples may exist among 1969 D nickels. Proof-like coins have unusually reflective surfaces resembling proof coins even though they were intended for regular circulation. Such pieces may result from freshly polished dies or experimental preparation methods. A proof-like 1969 D nickel with sharp details and blazing mirror surfaces would immediately stand out among ordinary circulation coins. If paired with a rare minting error, such a coin could become legendary within the numismatic world. Another factor fueling the $93 million legend is collector psychology itself. Coin collecting is driven not only by rarity but by storytelling, mystery, competition, and historical fascination. When collectors hear rumors about a unique coin with impossible errors or undocumented features, excitement spreads rapidly. Wealthy buyers often compete fiercely for ownership of coins considered the best or rarest examples in existence. Auctions become battlegrounds where collectors spend fortunes chasing prestige and history. Even if the exact next 1968 5-cent coin. Today we are uncovering one of the most mysterious and unbelievable stories in the world of rare American coins, the incredible 1968 Jefferson 5-cent coin that some collectors and treasure hunters believe could be worth an astonishing $90 million because of its rare minting errors, shocking mistakes, hidden varieties, and once-in-a-lifetime possibilities that continue to fascinate coin experts across the globe. Imagine holding an old nickel in your hand that most people would ignore without a second thought, only to discover that the tiny coin might actually be one of the rarest minting accidents ever created by the United States Mint. That possibility is exactly why collectors constantly search through old jars, piggy banks, inherited collections, estate sales, flea markets, and bank rolls hoping to uncover a forgotten 1968 nickel hiding among ordinary pocket change. The late 1960s were one of the most chaotic periods in American coin production history, and many experts believe that the pressure placed on the Denver Mint during that era created conditions where incredible minting errors could escape into circulation unnoticed. The 1968 Jefferson Nickel was struck during a time when the United States Mint was struggling to meet massive demand for coins as the American economy expanded and the public hoarded coins because of rising metal prices and fears about shortages. Mint workers were operating machinery at tremendous speed day and night, and under those stressful production conditions, mistakes became inevitable. While most errors were caught and destroyed, a few extraordinary coins are believed to have escaped quality control, creating legends that still inspire collectors today. One of the biggest reasons the 1968 nickel has become so famous is the possibility of dramatic double die errors. A double die occurs when the design on the die becomes misaligned during manufacturing, causing certain letters, numbers, or images on the coin to appear doubled. Some double dies are extremely subtle and require magnification to detect, while others are so dramatic they can be seen immediately with the naked eye. On rare Jefferson Nickels, doubling might appear on the date, Jefferson's eye, his hair, the word liberty, the phrase "In God we trust," or even the details of Monticello on the reverse side. A major double die error on a 1968 nickel in excellent condition would already be a valuable coin, but if the doubling were unusually strong or combined with another minting mistake, collectors believe the value could rise to unbelievable levels. Stories continue to circulate among coin enthusiasts about mysterious undocumented double die examples from the Denver Mint that may still exist hidden inside private collections or forgotten coin jars. Another incredible possibility involves off-center strikes, one of the most visually dramatic minting errors ever seen on coins. Off-center strikes happen when the coin blank fails to line up properly within the minting press before being struck. Instead of producing a perfectly centered design, the image shifts dramatically to one side, leaving part of the coin blank while cutting off some of the design. Collectors love off-center errors because they are easy to recognize and each one is completely unique. A 1968 nickel struck far off-center while still showing the full date and mint mark could become highly valuable because the date proves the exact year and origin of the error. If such a coin also displayed doubling, die cracks, or unusual toning, it could become one of the most desirable Jefferson Nickel errors in existence. Some collectors even dream about discovering a multi-error 1968 nickel with several mint mistakes combined together on a single coin, creating a piece so rare that it would be considered nearly priceless. The idea of a wrong planchet error is another reason the 1968 nickel continues to attract enormous attention from treasure hunters around the world. A planchet is the blank metal disc used before a coin is struck, and sometimes during hectic mint production, the wrong blank accidentally enters the striking press. Imagine a Jefferson nickel struck on a copper penny planchet, a silver dime planchet, or another experimental metal blank intended for testing purposes. Such mistakes are extremely rare because quality control systems are designed to prevent them, but when one slips through unnoticed, it creates one of the most exciting discoveries in numismatics. A genuine 1968 nickel struck on the wrong planchet could weigh differently, display unusual colors, or show incomplete details because the planchet was not intended for a nickel design. If an example surfaced today in mint condition, collectors and auction houses would likely compete fiercely for ownership, potentially driving the price into the millions. Some experts believe that experimental metal testing conducted during the late 1960s may have accidentally produced rare nickels with compositions never officially released to the public. If one of those mysterious specimens were discovered and authenticated, the value could become almost impossible to estimate because of its historical importance and extreme rarity. Die cracks and cut errors are also among the fascinating possibilities associated with the legendary 1968 D Jefferson Nickel. Minting dies endure incredible pressure every time they strike a coin, and over time they begin to weaken, crack, or break apart. When those damaged dies continue being used, strange raised lines and blobs appear on the coins they produce. A die crack might stretch across Jefferson's face like a lightning bolt, while a cut error may create a large raised lump along the edge where part of the die actually broke away. Collectors are fascinated by these flaws because they reveal the intense stress experienced by minting equipment during production. A dramatic cut or die crack on a 1968 D nickel would already make the coin desirable, but when combined with other unusual features like pristine surfaces, doubling, or missing design elements, the coin's value could rise dramatically. Every crack and break tells a story about what was happening inside the mint at the exact moment the coin was created. Another exciting category of errors involves clipped planchets. These occur when the metal blank is improperly punched from the strip of metal before being struck. Instead of a full round shape, part of the coin appears missing. Genuine clipped planchet errors display special characteristics such as distorted metal flow near the clipped area, proving the error happened during production rather than after circulation damage. Collectors love clipped coins because they are visually unusual and immediately recognizable. A large curved clip on a 1968 D nickel with strong strike details could command enormous attention at auction, especially if the coin remained in high-grade condition. Since most nickels from the late 1960s circulated heavily, finding a major error coin with minimal wear is exceptionally difficult, making pristine examples far more valuable. Rotated die errors are another possibility that keeps collectors searching through old Jefferson nickels. Normally the front and back of a coin align perfectly, but when the dies rotate out of position, the reverse design appears tilted or upside down relative to the obverse. Some rotated dies are minor, while others are dramatic enough to amaze even experienced collectors. A major rotated die on a 1968 D nickel could transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a highly collectible rarity. The larger the rotation angle and the stronger the strike quality, the greater the interest from serious numismatists. Then there are repunched mint marks, another fascinating feature from the era before modern computerized minting technology. In the 1960s, mint marks were often punched into working dies by hand, which sometimes caused accidental doubling or misalignment when the mint mark was punched more than once. A repunched D mint mark on a 1968 D nickel might show traces of extra lines or shadows around the letter. Although subtle compared to giant off-center strikes, repunched mint marks are highly respected among collectors because they reveal the human imperfections involved in coin production. Rare examples with dramatic visibility can sell for astonishing amounts when discovered in top condition. Another factor adding mystery to the 1968 D nickel is the possibility of proof-like examples. Proof-like coins have reflective mirror-like surfaces resembling proof coins even though they were intended for normal circulation. These unusual surfaces may result from freshly polished dies or experimental minting conditions. A proof-like 1968 D nickel with blazing luster and razor-sharp details would already be desirable, but if paired with a rare minting error, the coin could become legendary among collectors. Some enthusiasts believe that a few special strike examples may have accidentally escaped the mint during production experiments, though no official records confirm these stories completely. The uncertainty only fuels collector excitement because hidden discoveries remain possible. Coin condition also plays a massive role in determining value. Most 1968 D nickels entered circulation immediately and suffered years of wear, scratches, discoloration, and damage from everyday use. However, a tiny number survived in pristine mint state condition with strong luster, sharp details, and almost no marks. High-grade Jefferson nickels from this era are surprisingly difficult to locate because the coins were produced quickly and often handled roughly during packaging and transportation. Collectors competing for the finest known examples often pay enormous premiums for coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. When a rare mint error. Next, 1965-cent coin. Today we are exploring one of the most unbelievable stories ever connected to American coin collecting, the legendary 1960 Jefferson 5-cent coin that many collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $87 million because of its rare minting errors, shocking production mistakes, mysterious varieties, and hidden possibilities that continue to fascinate treasure hunters and numismatic experts around the world. Imagine finding an old nickel sitting unnoticed in a forgotten drawer, a coin jar, or a family collection, only to discover that the tiny 5-cent piece in your hand could potentially be worth more than luxury mansions, sports cars, and private islands combined. That dream is exactly what drives millions of collectors to search through old coins every single day, because history has repeatedly proven that extraordinary minting mistakes can transform ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures. The 1960 Jefferson nickel comes from a fascinating period in United States mint history when coin production was increasing rapidly, minting machinery was under heavy stress, and quality control systems were not nearly as advanced as modern technology. Under those conditions, unusual minting accidents became possible, and while most mistakes were destroyed before leaving the mint, some escaped into circulation and became legendary collectibles decades later. The 1960 nickel is especially exciting because it exists during a time when die preparation methods, minting pressures, and manual production techniques created opportunities for dramatic and unique errors that modern automated systems rarely allow. One of the most talked about possibilities involving the 1960 Jefferson nickel is the famous double die error. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during manufacturing, causing certain details on the final coin to appear doubled. On a rare Jefferson nickel, this doubling might appear on the date, Jefferson's profile, the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," or even the architectural details of Monticello on the reverse side. Some double dies are minor and require magnification to see, while others are dramatic enough to notice instantly with the naked eye. A powerful double die on a 1960 nickel in exceptional condition could already command enormous value, but if the doubling were especially rare or combined with other minting abnormalities, collectors believe the value could rise to astonishing heights. Stories continue to circulate among numismatists about undocumented or little-known double die varieties from 1960 that may still remain hidden inside old collections waiting to be discovered. Another reason the 1960 nickel has become legendary is the possibility of repunched mint marks. During this era, mint marks were punched into dies by hand before the coins were struck. Sometimes the mint mark was accidentally punched more than once in slightly different positions, creating visible doubling or shadows around the letter. Repunched mint marks are highly respected among serious collectors because they reveal the human side of coin production and represent genuine minting mistakes rather than damage caused after circulation. A dramatic repunched mint mark on a 1960 nickel with sharp details and strong eye appeal could become an extraordinary rarity, especially if very few examples exist. Collectors spend years studying old Jefferson nickels under magnification hoping to identify hidden mint mark varieties overlooked by previous generations. The mystery and possibility surrounding these coins continue to fuel excitement within the hobby because every new discovery has the potential to rewrite what collectors know about the series. Off-center strikes are another fascinating error possibility associated with rare 1960 Jefferson nickels. Off-center strikes happen when the blank coin fails to align correctly inside the striking press before the dies come down with tremendous force. Instead of producing a centered image, the design shifts dramatically to one side, leaving part of the coin blank while cutting off other details. Collectors love off-center errors because they are visually striking and impossible to ignore. A 1960 nickel struck significantly off-center while still showing the full date would immediately become highly desirable because the visible date confirms the year of the error. If such a coin also displayed doubling, die cracks, or unusual coloring, its value could rise dramatically due to the rarity of multiple errors appearing together on one coin. Some collectors dream about discovering a perfect storm error coin containing off-center striking, doubling, clipping, and unusual metal composition all at once, creating a one-of-a-kind treasure unlike anything else known. Wrong planchet errors are among the most exciting possibilities connected to the legendary 1960 Jefferson nickel. A planchet is the blank metal disc used before the coin design is struck onto it. During busy production periods, the wrong blank can accidentally enter the striking chamber, causing a coin design to appear on metal intended for another denomination. Imagine a Jefferson nickel struck on a penny planchet, a dime blank, or even a foreign coin blank accidentally mixed into the production process. Such mistakes are incredibly rare because mint quality control systems are designed to catch them, but every now and then one slips through and enters circulation unnoticed. Wrong planchet coins often appear with unusual colors, incorrect weights, or incomplete details because the metal size and composition were not intended for that coin design. A verified 1960 Jefferson nickel struck on the wrong planchet in mint condition would become one of the most sensational discoveries in numismatic history. Some collectors even speculate that experimental planchets may have been tested during the late 1950s and early 1960s, creating the possibility that a few mysterious examples escaped accidentally into circulation. If one of those experimental pieces surfaced today, its value could become nearly impossible to estimate because of its historical significance and extreme rarity. Another category of minting mistakes that fascinates collectors is die cracks and cut errors. Minting dies experience tremendous pressure every time they strike a coin, and over time they weaken, crack, or break apart. When those damaged dies continue being used, the defects transfer onto the coins as raised lines, blobs, or unusual distortions. A die crack on a 1960 Jefferson nickel might resemble a lightning bolt running across Jefferson's face or through the lettering, while a cut error may appear as a large raised lump near the edge where part of the die actually broke away. Collectors are fascinated by these features because each one captures a moment of mechanical failure during the minting process. No two die cracks are exactly alike, making each error unique. A dramatic cut error on a high-grade 1960 nickel would already attract major collector attention, but when combined with another unusual feature such as full strike details, mirrored surfaces, or vibrant natural toning, the coin could become extraordinarily valuable. Clipped planchet errors add even more mystery to the story of the 1960 nickel. A clipped planchet occurs before the coin is struck, when the blank metal disc is improperly cut from the sheet of metal. The resulting coin appears to have a curved or straight section missing from its edge. Genuine clipped planchets display distinct characteristics proving the error occurred at the mint, including distorted metal flow near the clipped area. Collectors love clipped coins because they are visually unusual and clearly demonstrate a production mistake. A large curved clip on a sharply struck 1960 Jefferson nickel could become highly valuable, especially if the coin remained in near-perfect condition despite decades of existence. Since most nickels circulated heavily and suffered wear from daily use, pristine error examples are exceptionally difficult to locate. That scarcity drives prices much higher because collectors compete intensely for the best surviving specimens. Another fascinating possibility involves broadstrike errors. A broad strike occurs when the collar die that normally holds the coin in place during striking fails to function properly. Without the collar restricting the metal flow, the coin spreads outward under pressure, producing a wider and thinner appearance. Broad-struck nickels often have missing or distorted rims, giving them a strange and dramatic look. A broad-struck 1960 nickel with strong details and unusual eye appeal could attract significant collector interest, especially if paired with other minting abnormalities. Some broad strikes display beautiful luster and sharp strike details despite their unusual shape, making them even more desirable. Collectors are especially fascinated by errors that reveal the mechanics of the minting process because they provide insight into how coins are actually made. Rotated die errors also capture the imagination of collectors searching through old Jefferson nickels. Normally the front and back of a coin align correctly, but when one die rotates out of position, the reverse design appears tilted or upside down relative to the obverse. Some rotated dies are minor and barely noticeable, while others are dramatic enough to amaze even experienced numismatists. A strongly rotated die on a 1960 nickel would instantly become collectible because it represents a genuine mechanical failure at the mint. If such a coin were preserved in mint state condition with additional unusual features, its value could rise substantially. Another exciting factor connected to the 1960 Jefferson nickel is the possibility of proof-like examples. Proof-like coins have mirror-like surfaces resembling proof coins even though they were intended for regular circulation. These last 1996 5-cent coin. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable and mysterious stories in modern American coin collecting history, the legendary 1996 Jefferson 5-cent coin that many collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $84 million because of its rare minting errors, shocking production mistakes, hidden varieties, and mysterious possibilities that continue to fascinate coin hunters around the world. Most people would never imagine that a simple 5-cent coin from the 1990s could potentially be worth more than luxury homes, sports franchises, or private jets, but the world of rare coins has repeatedly proven that extraordinary minting mistakes can transform ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures. Every single year collectors discover hidden rarities in old jars, inherited collections, bank rolls, flea markets, and forgotten boxes of coins, and the dream of uncovering the next great American coin rarity keeps millions of people searching through nickels every day. The 1996 Jefferson nickel is especially intriguing because it was produced during a period when the United States Mint was striking billions of coins at tremendous speed, placing enormous stress on machinery, dies, and quality control systems. Although technology had improved compared to earlier decades, mistakes still happened, and when unusual errors escaped into circulation, they created some of the most desirable modern collectibles in the numismatic world. The possibility that an ultra-rare 1996 nickel with extraordinary errors could exist somewhere unnoticed continues to inspire treasure hunters who believe hidden fortunes may still be sitting in ordinary pocket change. One of the most exciting possibilities involving the 1996 Jefferson nickel is the presence of double die errors. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives multiple slightly misaligned impressions during production, causing the final design to appear doubled in certain areas. On Jefferson Nickels, doubling can appear on the date, Jefferson's I, the lettering, the phrase "In God We Trust," the word liberty, or the details of Monticello on the reverse. Some double dies are minor and visible only under magnification, while others are dramatic enough to catch attention instantly. Collectors are especially fascinated by major double die coins because they represent genuine minting errors rather than post-mint damage. A dramatic double die 1996 nickel in flawless mint condition would already be a valuable coin, but if the doubling appeared alongside another unusual error such as an off-center strike or wrong planchet, the coin's rarity could become extraordinary. Stories continue to circulate among collectors about undocumented double die examples from the Denver Mint that may still remain hidden inside old coin collections waiting to be discovered. Another fascinating reason the 1996 nickel attracts so much attention is the possibility of wrong planchet errors. A planchet is the blank metal disc used before a coin design is struck, and sometimes during hectic mint production the wrong blank accidentally enters the striking chamber. Imagine a Jefferson nickel struck on a penny planchet, a dime blank, or even a foreign coin planchet mistakenly mixed into the production line. Such errors are incredibly rare because mint systems are designed to prevent them, but history has shown that mistakes occasionally slip through unnoticed. Wrong planchet coins often display unusual sizes, weights, colors, or incomplete designs because the blank was never intended for that coin type. A genuine 1996 Jefferson nickel struck on the wrong planchet would instantly become one of the most talked about modern coin discoveries. If preserved in pristine condition, the value could rise dramatically because collectors compete intensely for major minting mistakes from modern coinage. Some numismatists even speculate that experimental metal tests conducted during the 1990s may have accidentally produced unusual nickel compositions, and if one of those mysterious coins surfaced today, it could completely rewrite what collectors know about the series. Off-center strikes are another dramatic possibility connected to the legendary 1996 nickel. Off-center strikes happen when the coin blank fails to align properly inside the striking collar before the dies strike with massive force. Instead of producing a centered design, part of the image appears shifted to one side, leaving blank space while cutting off other details. Collectors love off-center errors because they are visually dramatic and immediately recognizable. A 1996 D nickel struck significantly off-center while still displaying the full date and mint mark would become highly desirable because the visible date confirms the exact origin of the error. If such a coin also displayed doubling, die cracks, or extraordinary toning, its value could rise to incredible levels. Multi-error coins are especially prized because they combine several rare minting failures into one unique specimen. Some collectors dream about finding a 1996 D nickel containing doubling, off-center striking, and a clipped planchet all at once, creating a once-in-a-lifetime rarity capable of attracting worldwide attention. Die cracks and cut errors also contribute heavily to the mystery surrounding rare Jefferson Nickels from the Denver Mint. Minting dies experience tremendous pressure during production, and over time they weaken, crack, or break apart. When those damaged dies continue striking coins, the defects transfer onto the coin surfaces as raised lines, blobs, or distortions. A die crack might stretch across Jefferson's face like lightning, while a cut error appears as a raised lump near the edge where part of the die actually broke away. Collectors are fascinated by these errors because every crack captures a specific moment of mechanical stress inside the mint. No two die cracks are exactly identical, making each coin unique. A dramatic cut error on a 1996 D nickel preserved in mint state condition could already command substantial value, but when paired with another major minting abnormality, the coin's importance could become enormous. Clipped planchet errors add even more excitement to the story. A clipped planchet occurs before striking, when the blank metal disc is improperly cut from the strip of metal, leaving part of the coin missing. Genuine clips display distinct signs proving the error occurred during production rather than after circulation damage. Collectors appreciate clipped coins because they visually demonstrate the manufacturing process in a dramatic way. A large curved clip on a 1996 D Jefferson nickel with sharp details and strong luster could become highly collectible, especially if few examples exist. Since modern coins are produced with tighter quality control than older coins, major clipped planchet errors from the 1990s can attract enormous interest because they are less common than many collectors assume. Another fascinating possibility involves broadstrike errors. Normally a collar die surrounds the coin blank during striking, keeping the metal confined and forming the rim. If the collar fails or the blank is struck outside the collar, the metal spreads outward under pressure, producing a wider and thinner coin known as a broadstrike. Broad-struck nickels often display distorted rims and unusual shapes that immediately capture collector attention. A broad-struck 1996 D nickel with strong strike details and beautiful surfaces could become highly valuable, particularly if paired with another rare feature such as proof-like surfaces or doubled dies. Rotated die errors are another exciting category that keeps collectors examining old Jefferson Nickels carefully. Normally the obverse and reverse designs align properly, but when one die rotates out of position, the reverse appears tilted or upside down relative to the front. Major rotated die errors are uncommon and highly collectible because they reveal genuine mechanical failures during production. A strongly rotated 1996 D nickel in high-grade condition would instantly become desirable among error coin specialists. Some collectors actively search through rolls of nickels hoping to discover dramatic die rotations overlooked during mint inspection. Another reason the 1996 D nickel remains fascinating is the possibility of proof-like examples. Proof-like coins have reflective mirror-like surfaces resembling specially struck proof coins even though they were intended for ordinary circulation. These surfaces often result from freshly polished dies or unusual striking conditions. A proof-like 1996 D nickel with deep mirrors, sharp details, and blazing luster would already attract strong collector demand, but if combined with a dramatic minting error, the coin could become legendary. Some collectors believe that accidental proof quality strikes may occasionally escape into circulation during transitions between proof production and regular minting operations. Although extremely rare, such possibilities keep treasure hunters searching carefully through modern nickels. Coin condition plays an enormous role in determining value, especially for modern issues like the 1996 D Jefferson nickel. Most nickels from this era entered circulation immediately and suffered contact marks, scratches, discoloration, and wear from everyday use. High-grade examples with sharp details, brilliant luster, and minimal imperfections are surprisingly difficult to locate because coins are handled roughly during mass production and transportation. Professional grading services evaluate coins under strict standards, and even tiny marks can dramatically affect value. A rare error coin graded at the highest mint state levels becomes exceptionally valuable because the combination of rarity and preservation